Hello everyone. Last year I was exactly in the same location in this park talking to you for the first time in this channel. I had a lot of hopes, dreams for the new upcoming year, and I was putting together a vision for my year. A lot has happened since then, and thank you so much for sticking through the whole year with me. I really appreciate it. Towards the ends of the year, since the moment I found a job, I was really struggling finding a balance, because finding a new job is stressful, and also the position that I have, it didn't allow that much of a room for an easy start. It was pretty much thrown in the water and survival. It's a new position. Everybody was so done with it. For a year they've struggled to keep it within, and then they finally reached out and hired someone else. So it's like please take it and learn, and just don't ask questions, I won't be involved, sort of thing. That's at least how I felt. So that impacted the way that I wanted to continue posting, and I'm hoping that I finally get a routine down, finally get a hang of all of this, and I can post more frequently, weekly basis, like I'm hoping to. But I wanted to keep you in the loop and update you, because in this channel I have shared so much of my personal life, and people are important in my life and my family, and I wanted to keep you in the loop with that changes that just recently happened. So for the Christmas time, we traveled. Josh and I traveled to Hawaii. One of his friends, an ex-roommate that used to live with him, has moved to Hawaii 7 years ago, and we found a cheap ticket, and he offered that we can stay at his place, and that was the first time that we would be traveling to Hawaii, so we were very excited. Usually all of our trips is only like a weekend or a long weekend. The only other time that we have been away as much as we did this time, it was, I don't know, before COVID time, when we went to Paris and Josh proposed to me. And this was supposed to be a 10-day trip, because that's how we were able to make it being affordable. And we purchased a ticket, and that meant that we couldn't take our dog with us. So we left the dog with Josh's family. His sister is a vet tech, so we were very comfortable leaving it in her hands. Yeah, like halfway through our trip, or maybe even at the beginning, she reached out. She said that the dog was struggling with breathing heavily and was not normal, which wasn't. Yeah, we asked her to do whatever needs to be happening. She needed to take it to a doctor and do a full checkup to see what that is. Josh and I don't have that much experience with dogs. I personally, this is my second dog that I've ever took care of, and so we've been keeping in touch throughout the whole trip, finding out what was happening with her. And then we found out that she had kidney issues, like an injury, but they said it was level 2, so it wasn't that bad. And throughout the other tests and run, other things were popping up. There was a mass in her gallbladder. There was other things were happening. They were considering maybe Cushing, because her belly was so bulged. And you know, every time that you would notice that, right, with her belly, I was told that I'm feeding her too much, but like retrospective, her legs were so skinny, her neck was fine. So if the dog is fat and is eating too much, it wouldn't just be her belly bulged out. So when we're looking at the Cushing symptoms, a lot of things that she was showing was falling in. However, her lifespan was way too short for us to be able to do all of the tests. And at the end, we never found out. So I wanted to share what happened. So 2 days before the Christmas, our dog passed away. And the pain that goes with the fact that we weren't here for the entire time that it was found that she was having an issue, a disease, was unimaginable. it progressed so fast, and over 3 days, it was massively impacted her. There was nothing that we could have done to save her life furthermore. At the time that she passed away, she was 14 years and I believe 8-9 months. She was a couple months away from being 15 years old. She is a toy poodle, and it was Josh's father's dog. He bought two, a girl and a boy, a toy poodle from a breeder in Taiwan, and brought him over many years ago in 2010. And this female dog very attached herself with Josh. She was such a cute, adorable dog, and so kind, so smart. And so ever since then, Josh took her in and kind of adopted it from her father's. So and then 2016 we met, and so I was in her life since then. And because we are not able to have our own kids, we literally treated this dog as our own daughter. And the pain that went with the shock that she was not able to live with us longer than she did, I cannot tell you how terrible it has been. And I want to talk a little bit more about what is that mourning process has been for me, and readjusting some of my values and realizing how important family is and how important it is to be at the moment. So these are the topics I want to talk about. And if you've ever gone through anything similar to this, I'm sure you feel every bit of the pain that we're experiencing at the moment. But it's important for me to say it out loud and share with you, because I wanted to be as transparent, as true to you in this channel, and that's just part of who I am and I want to be. So I want to share important moments of my life here with you and to document them. So I want to say a little bit more about how that finding has been. So to be honest, we have been noticing her aging was impacting her movements, her health. Like, you could notice it, that she's getting weaker. But we didn't think that she had the issues that ended up taking her life. So, for example, her joints were noticeably uncomfortable. Her back leg wasn't moving as easily, and towards the end, like, I had to take her and put her on the grass to do her business. Like, we have a couple of the steps to go from the inside of the house to the outdoors, and she wasn't able to walk on those comfortably anymore, and she would stand there and wait for me to come and pick her up. So those were the things I was noticing. Her eyes, obviously you could see that had a filter, also red sometimes, so we know there was something with her vision. So due to the old age, her eyesight was depreciating, and also she couldn't hear us as well, so we had to kind of yell a little bit stronger for her to respond. So these were the things that we realized. But she had gone and had surgeries the past couple of years, and so they had done a full on blood check, and the result has always been like, oh, she's good and there's no issues. Which, in the retrospect, I'm really struggling with that, because towards the end they provided us a full list of 2 full sentences of symptoms and issues, and it's like, these wouldn't just pop up on last week, like, they have been consistently going on. So I really feel there might have been a negligence in the medical side of things, because she lost all of her teeth during the corona time, and they have been surgically removed. And so she had to be on anesthesia. So of course they would run everything to make sure she was fine, and she was. And so they did the surgery. Also, her skin would have a lot of pimples. So it was to the point that they would get infected and she would be biting at them. And so we decided that we would spend the money, get them all surgically removed, and So that was just last year, I think, not too long ago. I've noticed since last year her kidneys were getting weaker, so she would drip, and that's why I've been putting her on the diapers. And I just thought like it's part of life, but apparently she had infections on her kidney, which we didn't notice because she wasn't licking herself. Like there was nothing that would indicate that like she has urinary infection that would cause like a kidney disease. We don't even know how that kidney disease appeared. Could have been just the old age. But it was like multiple things. Her gallbladder, adrenal tubes were having bulging items appearing, but they were keep saying like none of these would be ending her life. They were just getting to the point. But like from the moment they found all of these, it only took 3 days for her to drastically collapsing. Like things were not looking good. Her values were not looking good. In the span of 2 days, from being told that she was stage 2 kidney disease to her kidneys completely failing. And I still don't think it was like completely the kidney issue that took her life away, but they were finding a lot of potassium in her body that when kidneys typically fail, so they're not filtering out all the toxins and potassium and phosphate from your body, so they were building up, and you could see her body would like have, you know, rashes like this, like she would be shaking, and the fear was like she would get into a full seizure very quickly and would be coma. So we were at the trip, and we've been hearing on and off that she's going to the doctor, which was doing good. The moment we landed the next day, I think it was 12, and Josh's sister called us and said her heartbeat is very low. So for her, supposed to be 90, 100, but hers was like going really low, 30, 70, something like this. So we drove ourselves quickly. 2 hours away is where Josh's sisters live, and so we drove quickly there. We got there at 2 a.m., hauled her, and she, we were told that she had stopped eating 2 days prior. So we tried to give her some of our favorite snack that we brought with ourselves, and she ate a little bit. And so we decided to take her back home because she was reaching the end of her life. We wanted her to experience going back home to her own bed because it's been 10 days that she was in someone else's house. So we took her back home that night. We got back at 4 a.m. back home. She ate some blueberries, she drank some water, and so we felt like, oh my gosh, you know, we're gonna wait. Maybe she was just homesick, you know. And in the morning, she didn't feel better. So she stopped eating completely in the morning, and we could see like it's just not looking good. And yeah, we just started to take her back to the doctor, and as a whole family, we were there with her. And those were the hardest time because that's they did a test and realized, yeah, her body was shutting down. Her kidneys had completely failed. And you could notice that she was not feeling good. She was breathing very difficult towards the end of her life, and so they decided to put her to sleep. And yeah, all of this happened right after we got back, like literally the night after we arrived. So the jet lag and being so confused, and like all of a sudden your baby is experiencing everything that she did. I cannot tell you how terrible it has been for us. And you know, we did the best we could to support each other and be for each other. And now we're trying to mourn her loss our own ways and cherish her memory and who she was, doing a little feedback search of finding a place in our heart for her to stay forever, and you know, learning to move on, to live and not be constantly crying and be in pain. So this is what we're going through at the moment. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you. And I'm so sad that I'm sharing this during the holidays where everyone's supposed to be having the best time wrapping the year, but this year this is what has happened to us, and that's our reality. And yeah, our situation right now is one of those that when it pours, it rains. At the same time that I was hearing everything was happening to our dog, I called my mom to give her an update, and she told me that her own dog is having heart issues. So it has collapsed down 3 times so far, and one time it was on the stairs, so she fell and her face has smashed to the wall and started bleeding in her mouth, and so they've been taking her to ER, trying to diagnose what is happening, and they think that her heart is growing so big now, it's reaching to a place, and at the same time, Josh's grandma is in critical condition. She's in California, and she's been taken to the hospital a couple times for her blood pressure, and she might be in her last days. So all of this happening back to back for us, for our family. It's really, really hard. But, it is what it is. I've had my dark moments. The night after we came back, seeing all of our dog's little things around the house, I really had lost hope for, what I want in life. And looking at the bright side, it was not possible. Everything was super dark. But your recovery come out and in, has ups and downs, and I'm going through all of this. One thing that I realized, and I want to really talk about it, is how important it is to have a realistic perspective on life. Even though, our dog didn't pass away young, she lived her full lifespan, which for the dogs, past 12, it's, you can't tell. Some might live until 20, most around 14, 15. They're very old and they're suffering of some sort of health condition. And we knew all of this, and we knew our dog is getting older and older, and obviously we've been preparing, and you talk about it and all of this, but I feel what has been difficult for me was that because we can't have our own kids, and my dog had turned out to be my child. Like, I literally treated her as a daughter. She was like a 3-year-old baby for me. And I found out this when we were outside with Josh, just trying to get outside and do some grocery shopping. And then I realized for him, when he would see an animal like a dog, he would break down. For me, the dog was fine. But when I would see a mom with a 3-year-old, 4-year-old baby, I would break down. And that was so strange to me, because I was like, wait, let's look at it. Because I didn't see my dog as an animal. I saw her as a baby. I saw her as a little kid. And whenever, with my coworkers, they always talk about their kids, I always, that void was like, well, I have a daughter too. It was just like, she's a different breed. She's not human. She's like something else, but she is my daughter, and I treated her just like that. The problem with that is that with her death, I feel like my baby passed away. So I feel like, she still didn't live her full life. She didn't get to go to school, to college. She didn't get to marry, to have a full life. I feel like it has been frozen in my mind that my baby didn't get to live, and that hurt. That I wanted her to live longer. I wanted her to fully experience life. It's such a twisted thought plan, and it's making me wonder, like, as much as I have done a lot of work on myself and have been in therapy for so long, how did I miss this in my mindset, that I have been so wrongly looking at things and so unrealistic, to the point that I'm breaking down so badly.
not seeing literally my dog as a dog that lived 14 years of happy life with her family. I mean, that would be sad. And it's, you know, my right to be mourning and be upset. But the fact that I looked at her as a child, that I felt like she hasn't lived her through life, and avoiding to accept it and seeing it for what it was, made me realize that, you know, sometimes we characterize ourselves as like emotional, I'm just that kind of a person, but maybe it's like something else deeper. And I was talking to my mom, and she actually feels the same way with her dog. So her dog is like her child, and she treats her like a child, making me think like it's my sister, you know. And she was saying like, yeah, she experienced the same thing, even though she had children, me and my sister, but she still treated her dog as her other child. And we've been having conversations, makes us realize like this might be something that comes from the lack of the love, you know, for your parental love, or something in your childhood that you're replacing that we didn't get. And so we're latching onto these animals because these animals are naturally full of unconditional love, and they need you, and they give you that attention, and so that's all you need, right? And so you're just putting a band-aid on your heart, and that's what you're doing to yourself. And it makes me sad because I know some other people in our friends that they have lost their pets, and they refuse to have any pets ever since. It has been years. Their heart cannot take to adopt another pet. And you look at the shelter, is full of animals that they need help and attention, and we are able to go and take care of them. But because of how twisted our mind has been in the realistic perspective of what these pets are, and instead of really focusing on the love for ourselves and healing, we are finding band-aids in every place. Just like, you know, you get into a bad relationship with someone who doesn't really care about you or love you, but you know, you get yourself into bad situations. This is another one that I found out that with years that I have worked on myself, it was still something that I needed to face and cure and heal. So I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful that I realized that. And yeah, although it was a very painful process, I am opening up my eyes and realizing, you know, I want to cherish her life for a wonderful, perfect pet that she was. And she is irreplaceable. She was truly a child for me, and I experienced her fully, and I was at the moment with her every single day. I was happy waking up to her, and taking care of her was the joy of my life. But at the same time, realizing she literally lived through how it was possible for her to live. Like, her biology, because of how old she was, didn't allow her to live longer. She didn't live as a young baby, and that's something that I'm working so hard to realize and accept. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to share. I wanted to share my heart and my mourning process. I want to also tell you that I have 2 other videos that that before traveling to Hawaii, where she was still present in our videos, and I'm so happy for all the videos and footages and photos we have taken, and Josh has been so good with documenting them, because after her passing, it helps you to see that, okay, like, she really got older, which is our problem, we can't see it, right? So seeing like her last moments, which I really didn't feel comfortable with Josh filming, but now I'm so grateful for him that he did, because you look at it and you're realizing she was old, she was struggling breathing, she was struggling with everything, because back of my head sometimes I'm struggling with regret, and I'm like, maybe we should have given it more time, maybe we shouldn't have put her to sleep, maybe we were wrong, maybe we should have gone a second doctor's opinion. But seeing the videos, it's very obvious that she was towards the end of her time. She was struggling. She couldn't stand. She was very old and struggling to breathe, and all of those footages are helping us realizing that. So for the first time in my life, I'm thinking, because of my childhood traumas, I've always developed this running away method, dealing with anything. I wanted to run away, I don't want to see it. And for the first time ever, I'm not able to also blame anyone for the pain. Like, usually it's like, oh, it's because of this person's fault, that this happened, you know? Like with my childhood trauma, I'm like, oh, it was this person's fault. This is the first time in my life that I'm experiencing a deep tragedy and pain that I'm not able to blame it on anyone. Just accepting the pain for what it is helping me grow so much, to sit with the pain and not tossing it away. Like, it is what it is. It's painful, you know, not running away from it, not trying to transform it to something else, just sitting through and experiencing the pain for what it is, accepting it. It's all so new to me, and I'm experiencing it for the first time. And it was the same thing, that because of the hurt that I've experienced in life, sometimes I wouldn't fully experience things and I would hold back because I just didn't want to hurt later, and I wouldn't collect as much memory. I would be very, very mindful of, okay, if this person runs away from my life, how much of that can I control to push back and close the chapter? But this time I'm learning that it's okay. Like, with her stuff, they're still in the house. Josh wanted to take his time to packing. For me, it's like, I want to pack things right away. I want to shut down, delete all the photos from my phone. I want to be completely barring myself from remembering any of the memories. This time I'm realizing, like, it's not that hard, you know, once you face the pain. I'm actually surprised that I'm able to have her as my screensaver. I have never been able to do this. When she was alive, I've never put her as my screensaver because I was worried that if she would pass away unexpectedly, how would I deal with it? And it would make me feel devastated. But now I'm able to walk in the house, see her things around, that still just try and prepare himself to be able to pack. I'm able to see her little face every day on my screen. And that doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would be when you face the reality. And this is what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, let me know if any of what I've talked about resonate. What is your mourning process for loss? If you have any tips, anything that can help me and what we're going through at the moment. Like always, I really appreciate you watching my videos. I feel so grateful for you, and I wish you nothing but the best. I'm so sorry again that I'm sharing this, and then New Year is supposed to be joys and happiness. This year it turned to be this way, and that is okay. I'm learning that there's no set goals or expectations for how life is supposed to be. Everyone's life is different. Every year is different, and that's perfectly fine. Just stay in the moment and live every moment as it comes. And at the end of the day, I feel like our experiences, our true experiences for living, is what counts. Life and experiences in life breaks us in so many ways. The true challenge is how quickly you put yourself back together, how you're able to function, move forward, stay focused on the experience and living is the true challenge. You know, take as much time as you need to mourn, to heal, but don't lose focus. I know everything's temporary. Yeah. like I said, if you are the type of person that are very emotional, please skip the next 2 videos because it will contain a lot of hurt. Thank you once again for watching this long into my video. I appreciate you very, very much. And I hope nothing but best for the new upcoming year for you and your family. And I'll see you again on this channel. Bye.